We had a very interesting conversation with Bliss yesterday, and what she's been receiving is finding information about resolving the masculine, the feminine elements within us. And until these elements are internally resolved, there's a lot of internal conflict, and sometimes either the masculine side or the feminine side is trying to dominate the personality and suppress that other part of the self. And this results in internal conflict that may not be obvious, but for many of us is kind of raging all the time. And, for myself, I have these aspects that kind of want to do, that want to go out and they want to push. Learning from her, they're perhaps part of a bit of a false masculine. So not that kind, noble, sort of real masculine, but this false, weaker masculine side that's not actually fully in sync with the feminine side. The feminine side would kind of bring more balance, bring more nuance, have some of that gentleness, some of the attenuation of all of those kind of pushing, more forceful attempts, and that's what's missing. And in this psyche, these aspects of the self that are controlling thoughts on a day-to-day basis, thoughts moving around day-to-day, hour to hour, those are in conflict, and that tension creates an issue. So let's listen to what Bliss was pulling through yesterday.
All beings are walking around inside of avatars that they believe to be boy or girl, and now a lot of young people are coming into avatars and they want to be called they don't want to be called he or she, but it doesn't really change the perception of separation. It might be a step towards awareness sorting itself out from this perception of a separated self. But even young people who are wanting to be known as they rather than he or she could be as bound, if not more bound, than an awareness that is fully goddess or like primal masculine archetype. So to shortcut this piece in relation to separate self, it still comes back to the union of the anima and the animus inside of the self, which are the guidance is sharing. We can only access this part of the self, this psyche, by going deep into the sensations, deep into the sensational physiology, deep into the sensational form to resolve separate self. Because just like in the transmission with Joy and Harmony today, the guidance is showing that it's the unrequited love mechanism at the core of the self, which is the anima and the animus craving for union inside of the self. The split psyche is craving union. And that's why, you might feel like part of you wants one thing, and yet this other aspect of you wants something else. That's why the unrequited love of the anima and the animus, the masculine and feminine aspects of the psyche. So in a masculine body, the feminine psyche lives inside. And in the feminine body, the masculine psyche lives inside. And for some people who are in a boy's body, but they're more feminine, it could be the other way around. However it expresses, each avatar is still yearning to heal the separation of the anima and the animus, which are the masculine, feminine expressions of the psyche itself. That's the direct path. That's the shortcut. How to access it according to the guidance. Got to get comfortable with sensation in totality. Period. Otherwise, you'll be left at the mental processor level, the emotional processor level, all these different levels of exploration, which are fine. Nothing wrong with it. Just different levels of exploration seeking to resolve split inside of the self. Period. And along the path inside of this experimental container called the fourth world, which the Hopi have told us is coming to an end, we meet other people in the school of life who might be able to share with us things that awaken us to what the study program is really about. That's why the Hopi prophecy said the red hats are coming small in number from the east to show us how to unify the polarities. They didn't use the word anima, animus. They said polarities. To we in this transmission, the most powerful piece the guidance has ever brought we to is anima, animus. Because polarities are up here in the mind. Anima, animus is deep down inside the physiology. And it's that split psyche that until one gets to that split psyche, yes, start with the mind, learn how to hold coherence and achieve tasks from a coherent mind. Mental body, emotional regulation of the self, perfect, all still superficial, all still up on the surface.
Wow. So as we're, feeling all these sensations, and I've been feeling, I guess, a lot of congestion, feeling similar to suffocation and all of that just do keep coming up, particularly when I sort of pull back from the mind and those feelings emerge more, and then I feel them, even more strongly. How does the feeling tie in with the anima and the animus?
You tell me. Do a little more deep diving and see what you find while we're walking.
Maybe it's the two of them trying to come back together, or maybe it is the split that I'm feeling that's there.
So just like the free diver who kept going deeper and deeper, let's say he had to go through a whole field of seaweed first.
Right.
The video we watched, it was all clear water. To get from 2 to 3 feet up there on the surface, how long do you think it took that diver to move from splashing around like these surfers out here whose heads are above the water? This is the metaphor, superficial. They haven't even begun to dive. How long do you think it took the diver to get from surface to 2 feet beneath the surface holding the breath?
Not that long.
How about from the surface to 10 feet?
A little bit longer.
Quite a bit longer. Have you ever dived to the bottom of a pool that's measured at 10 feet?
Yes, I have done that.
What did you experience?
I guess it's like the air, it's like there's more pressure from the air inside of you, it feels like, as you go down.
And it's hard to stay down at 10 feet for very long. And it's a much more intense experience, even though it's only 10 feet. That diver was diving 126 meters, not feet. Consistent. What it requires to go from 0 to 10 feet. That's a will that desires this.
That makes sense. Yeah, so it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a lot of it's good. Yeah, it's here.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's good. I just wanted to get it out of the way of the bed.
Where would you like it?
Or
Like center?
yeah. Perfect. Is that good?
Yeah, that's great. This here.
Perfect. See. So the journey inside of a personal avatar is where the exploration is at. We've been taught that the exploration is the material world. Yes. According to the genetics, it's been first line material for at least 400 years.
Wow.
It's leaping out of first line material directly into sixth line spiritual overnight. Everything learned in the material was meant to be brought into equilibrium for the end of the fourth world, so that there's no memories being carried forth. The material experience has been consolidated inside of us to understand what its purpose was for. And in that, we release all the memory attachment. There's no more figuring it out. We're releasing the memories as we synthesize, as we find the understanding, why this, why that. Then sweep as you go, as Neutrino said. Sweep, okay, figure this one out, figure that, why did this happen, why is that happen? Sweep, 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 got it. Equilibrium, coherence, equilibrium, coherence.